Welcome to Calera Spotlight, a closer look at the stories, people, and progress shaping the future of our city. From community events to public safety to innovation in technology and infrastructure upgrades. We sit down with the city leaders making an impact every day. These are the conversations that matter. This is your city. This is Calera Spotlight.
I'm James Fuller with the City of Calera, and I'm here with Cara Stallman, who is our city grant writer. Cara, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit about what a grant writer for the city does?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Cara Stallman. The name of my company is called Grant Management LLC. And we have a very specific niche. We write and manage grants for infrastructure projects for cities, counties, and towns. So we're very specific for local communities. I work for the City of Calera. I've been working for the City of Calera. We're just finishing up our third year, and I've come in and I help them with all things grants. I work with all the department heads. We work with from streets to sewer to the parks.
Okay.
And we help with all the grant infrastructure, and we help all that stuff. And that's instead of, since it's such a specialized skill, it's a benefit for the City of Calera because they don't have to hire a full-time staff person,
Right.
pay them benefits, pay everything like that. But then I'm also available to help them. So it's a win-win situation, and it works really well for cities the size of Calera.
Right.
A little bit larger, it would make sense to have a full-time person. A little bit smaller, they wouldn't have the resources or the amount of grants that they would need for those types of projects.
Great. Can you give us an idea of the different types of grants that we've gotten in the past couple of years?
Sure, yeah, we've got several. So we've had amazing success in the City of Calera. The first one is I'm going to talk about the big one is the city received an $11 million grant from the Railroad Administration, the Federal Railroad Authority and Administration, and that is to begin the process of building a bridge over the CSX Railroad and to link 25,
Right.
Which is the major deadlock.
Right, and that'll alleviate the issue of people getting blocked by the train
Absolutely.
and emergency vehicles from getting across there when they need to and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was a big grant. That was a huge win. We received notification of that grant 2 years ago.
Okay.
But because it's such a complicated process, there's lots of steps we have to go through. We're still working through that, and it's in the planning phase. So I'm most proud of that grant. That's a huge accomplishment for the city.
So while we're talking about the railroad,
Sure.
I know a lot of people are wondering what's taking so long. It doesn't seem like there's any progress, but I know there's all kinds of things involved, like environmental things that have to be done. Can you kind of talk about a little bit about what's going on with that?
Yeah, these grants are just very slow. And it's a federal grant, so it has a partner. So the Federal Railroad Administration is also working with the Alabama Department of Transportation and with the City of Calera. So if this was on a City of Calera street, it'd be a lot easier.
Right.
But since ALDOT is involved and it's their highway, there's just a lot of hoops you have to go through for any type of road project.
Right.
And like you said, there's environmental clearance. So right now we are walking the fine line of determining where the alignment's going to be, and then going back and checking the environmental resources, making sure they're okay, and then we're going to go back and do a little bit of design back and forth until we can go forward.
Right.
With the full of things. But they've done there's a historic district downtown which causes challenge with transportation projects. There's some endangered species in one of the creeks that the road is going to cross that we're incorporating. So it does feel slow, but that's just normal.
Right.
All road projects just take forever like this, so
Yeah.
nothing is quick.
You would definitely want to make sure the planning is in process and that everything is done properly, because the last thing you want to do is to get started and then you run into big hurdles like that.
That's true, and it's just the nature of these types of projects. It's a big project, it's cumbersome, and it's slow, but we're on the right direction. It's not just an idea anymore,
Right.
it's a real project, and it's moving forward. And one of my favorite things to say about grants is there's nothing free, there's nothing easy, and there's nothing quick about grant money. So when grant money is involved, it just always takes a lot longer.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know that's a big question people tend to have is why is it taking so long? So I'm glad you were able to kind of bring some
Sure,
light
and
on
we'll
that
keep it
situation.
informed, and let me tell you, I can assure you that the city council and the leaders and the engineering firm Volker who are working on this project are pushing this project to move forward every single second.
Right.
The minute the ball is in the city's court, we get it back out and we get it back into the Fed's hands.
There's actually weekly meetings, I believe, right?
There
with
are,
all of the
yes.
people that are
Oh, yes,
involved.
we
so-
coordinate it we have coordination meetings where we all get together. That's a really good point. We talk about it. And then there's monthly meetings with the federal agency involved, and everything it's moving. It's just painfully slow. And I know that the city is, wants to see something happen,
Right.
but it's just as a part of the process.
Right. Now, while we're talking about the downtown area, I know we also recently got a TAC grant to do
Correct.
some streetscape stuff. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Sure, yeah, this is a great project. I'm really proud of this. This is money that comes, and it comes through the Alabama Department of Transportation, through the Federal Highway Administration, and it's usually for just sidewalks. But the city took an innovative approach because of its investment, because of its vision, and how they want to redo downtown. We have really received $1 million, the grant is $1 million, to do some streetscaping, do landscaping, get utilities underground, and just sort of create a more walkable, pedestrian-friendly, human scale
Right.
on the downtown area, which I'm sure I can't wait till that's done. It's going to look great when it's finished.
Yeah, that's definitely very exciting to have the beautification of our downtown area. I know that's another thing that a lot of people are really wanting to see and kind of revitalize that area down there. Now, you talked about infrastructure as well. So can you talk about some of maybe the water and sewer infrastructure projects that you're working on?
I wasn't directly involved with these, but the city has received a lot of money through ADAM, through what's called the SRF program, which is the state revolving fund, and that's to upgrade the water treatment plant and to do improvements to the water and sewer infrastructure, and that's to help repair and make the system more resilient for the future. We also received another $500,000 grant to upgrade the sewer lines in the southwestern quadrant of the city.
Okay.
And in that area, we did this really cool technology, which is called cured in place pipe, where instead of digging up the streets and making a big environmental disaster and then putting in new pipes, which is really expensive,
Right.
they sent a camera down the pipes and they could see where it was broken. And then they also do this other thing where, I'm going to say this but they it's almost like a sock. They roll through the sewer pipe, and then they harden the sock, and instead of digging it all up, so it just puts a pipe within a pipe.
Awesome.
And then that seals it. And what that prevents is inflow and infiltration, which is when the water flows into the pipes, and then that's more water that goes to
Has to
wastewater
be
treatment
treated.
plant, and then it's more expensive. So
Right.
it was another successful project, and the city, and every step of the way on all of these projects, the city would not be able to get them without the city council and this administration putting money into it.
Right.
There's no such thing as there's very few. Clear is positioned in the right place to get a lot of money, to get the money, but they also match their money, and then they leverage the project for a better end product, and funders and people who are giving the money really want to see that.
Now, I know at a recent council meeting, we had closed on is it CBDG grant?
CDBG, yeah.
CDBG grant. So, was that the grant you were talking about?
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
sewer grant.
So that project is completed? and that's
That
been
project
done?
is completed, and that one's been done, and it came in under budget. And again, that sealed those old terracotta pipes from water getting into them. And hopefully, when it rains heavily, like we had
Right.
last night, we won't have backflow and inflow into
Right.
manholes overflowing, and people flooding, and that's just not good when that's sewer water.
Yeah, and with some of these older pipes that we have in town, that really is a big problem, I know. So, now, what about some of the other projects that you're currently working on?
Sure. We're currently working on, again, we're continuing to do these other ones. We've had a lot of great projects with the police department. They have gotten a lot of equipment. They've been able to get through the Department of Justice some side-by-side equipment, some armor for them to, and some bullets, some training doors. So we've done a lot of things with those. Those are current projects. And also we work on some smaller grants. Like we worked with Seth on some landscaping out at the park. He was able to buy some trees. It was about $10,000, but got some shade trees out there planted. And so he did, that was another great project. I don't know if you helped him with the video he had to do, but he had to do a little video, and he did a great job on that. So yeah, we're working on those, and we're also working on, as opportunities come up, we will apply, and hopefully we can get some more park grants for the downtown open space. We're looking forward to enhancing that and making that area grow as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of emphasis on that downtown area and trying to really make it as great as it can be, because I think it's going to be a huge asset to the city once we can get that project completed. Anything else that you'd like to let people watching this know about grants, or about maybe different ideas you have, maybe of what we can continue to do in the future? Or, I mean,
I think that I just want to say that the city of Calera has done an amazing job going after the money and then managing it too. Because the worst thing you want to do is apply for the grant and then not be able to do anything with it.
Right.
And then, or have to give it back. because you're too ambitious. That's not a good way to do it. So I think the city's been extremely responsible in how they've applied, and they've put together very thoughtful and meaningful projects, and everybody working together as a team really helps. Like with Bill working with the city council, with the Main Street people, everybody singing off the same sheet of music.
Yeah,
goes a long way.
it sounds like to me that all these grants have touched just about every department in the city, and it does take that cohesive working togetherness of everybody to make these work out as well as they intend to be.
It does, and I can't stress enough that for example, if a city council member goes to meet with an official in Montgomery and they're fighting and they're trying to do something different than the city's going, what the folks in Montgomery just see is divisiveness, and they don't want to give any money to them.
Right.
Like everybody has to be along, everybody has to get along, and that's hopefully where we can continue to go. But I continue to hope to do projects to continue to upgrade the infrastructure. Another grant program that's it's tiny, and I just want to show that we have this large one that's $11 million on the railroad, but then we also did these small ones. For example, I worked with Jackie at the Main Street, and the city applied for this, but we got a few benches for the alleyway downtown. These beautiful benches that are down there.
Yeah.
But we were able to work with the Regional Planning Commission of Birmingham area and get $10,000. So the grants can vary from small to large. And then another thing I'd just like to say is that the city, in order to get grant money these days, it's becoming more and more important to make sure all your finances are in order, because they ask you to give you an audit.
Right.
So I can't stress enough, by having annual audits with no findings, keeping track of all your financing, having efficient financial systems, just continues to help the city of Calera move forward. Yeah, now, and also Shelby County's been really generous. They're the ones who've helped the county. They've helped the city for the pickleball courts at Rolling Hill. So there's a huge...
And also have the playground too down at Main Street. So
yeah, and the playground at Main Street. So I think also having that relationship with Shelby County is really important as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you very much for meeting with me. I appreciate it.